we use all organic ingredients, and when we do work with chocolate, it's not only organic but fair trade, sustainably sourced, and so it's kind of that whole vibe Eric's got with the whole business is like healthy, and we want to be working with the best stuff. Yeah, so blueberry pancakes, we knew we wanted something with the blueberry flavor in the shop, but I don't know, I just thought, isn't blueberry great with a little bit of maple syrup? And so we went that way with it, and had the guys do the taste testing before we had meds, and kind of like, ooh, I like that one. And so yeah, we decided, let's just go with it, blueberry pancakes. And what you're smelling cooking is an apple pie gummy. That one's really popular here, but I don't do it all the time. So it's the holidays, so we got to do some apple pie. That one is a 2-to-1 gummy with THC and CBN. So that one is a nighttime sleep gummy. And I've also infused it with an organic chamomile, and just done a little bit of this and that with the flavors and chemistry, and so I'll start pouring that either after you folks leave or tomorrow.
Not necessarily giving us your secrets, but tell us what you have to do before they can even get to even that spot or this spot. What do you have to do?
Okay, so for gummies to pass compliance, which you learned all kind of the tricks of the trade from Lev, probably the edibles is the most challenging, because you have to, if you test flour, it's like, okay, it's this percentage, and people buy it and they get how much they get. But with edibles, they have to have exactly the dose in each and every gummy that you say it has. And so there's some math involved with that. So the first thing when I start working on a new gummy batch, no matter what the flavor is working on the equations. I'll figure out like what the formulas are for that. So for example, if I'm working with a distillate that's the THC content is 72.52%, that's what I'm working with right now, I've got to figure that into my calculations so that I add enough THC that if I just, you don't just 1-to-1 add some THC oil and it's like, all right, that's fine, because it's never 100% THC. So we're looking at those numbers quite a bit. Sometimes it's a couple layers of equations depending on, if we're adding another cannabinoid or, with the gummies, the other thing, so most people making gummies and other candy, they have a big commercial depositor, candy depositor. And there are a lot of benefits to that besides speed. There's a holding tank in it that can keep the gummy material at exactly the right temperature so that it doesn't seize up and it doesn't melt or get too hot. And so for us, that's harder to do. You'll see when the rest of you come around, I'm working in a big double boiler stock pot. We do it all by hand here, so we've had to figure out, once we get a little bigger and get cruising and can, be doing better financially, then we'll definitely invest in a depositor too. But, so yeah, it's a combination. You have to make sure not just percentages, but you have to make sure the weight is correct as well, which is a totally different calculation. And so, yeah, that's how we do gummies here. I make a lot of formulas back here, or tinctures as well. We've just started doing quite a lot of experimentation. Eric's got some great ideas. We've been both doing research, and so I know Lev was talking about like the THC percentage. And in the cannabis industry, for a lot of companies, that's what they want, the THC percentage. And we have our theories about how people jockey things to get a higher percentage. For us, we're looking at the whole picture in the test. We want to see the terpenes, we want to see the other cannabinoids that are in it. And so we've started to play with non-THC tinctures. We definitely have our THC tinctures, sleep tincture, pain, 1-to-1, and just regular THC. But we're playing with doing like a CBN only. We've got that on the counter now, and that's really helpful for sleep. not so much sedative, but it helps promote restful sleep. So if you kind of wake up a lot at night or restless leg syndrome, that kind of thing, it's it kind of helps to settle that down a little. And people tell us, and we've noticed, that you wake up more refreshed. It's crazy. So those are really popular. So the apple pie will have that in it. CBG is another cannabinoid that we're working with. A lot of folks don't know about it, but it's probably the up and coming, like, next one that you're going to start hearing about. From our research, we're seeing that it's really good for cognitive function. It's neuroprotective. It's really good for gut health. And so we're doing a tincture with just that in it now. So folks who don't want a buzz or they don't want the THC at all, they can get that. And so there's a couple other minor cannabinoids we're also working with, and we've just come out with a new line of all the edibles and tinctures that doesn't have THC, and so that's marketed as Winewood and Maple.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What makes something a tincture?
Well,
What defines it as a tincture?
you know,
with
that's really
cannabis?
interesting because, okay, so old days, you're an herbalist, a tincture is going to be an alcohol. Or you could use another solvent, but, you know,
Okay.
if you're doing a tincture at home, a lot of people will do, you know, whatever the
Like
herb
grain
is.
alcohol or something? Or no?
You can.
That's the only thing
Okay,
I've heard of it.
it's-
Like,
yeah. That's
Is that the low level way of
Yeah, because, yeah.
What's the
It
proper
is.
way then?
So what we're finding to be a better way is we're working with just the isolates or the distillates. So those components. So I work with like an organic MCT oil. We want to make the tinctures alcohol free because a lot of people don't want them to have alcohol.
I agree.
And so I think technically that is probably what a tincture used to mean, but nowadays it's
Yeah.
a very different thing. A lot of people don't have alcohol.
So now it's like but it's what I'm getting is like a soluble way of consuming the cannabis.
Exactly.
Is
exactly.
it a sublingual?
It's
Okay.
it's infused in an organic coconut oil, medium chain triglyceride oil, MCT oil, and so that's got its own health benefits on its own. So that's what it's suspended in, and then sublingually is the quickest way to get it into your
That's
system.
great.
Yep.
That's great. And
Yeah.
and,
And
it's-
these are small.
yeah.
These are small vials, even teeny dram vials that have 16 droppers of doses in it. So we're trying to find a way to get some of these combinations that have healing properties to them.
Like the toppers you had out there?
Yes, yes. So we have other things in that size because we're trying to make it affordable for people to try and
sure.
see. You know, we do get a lot of folks who will come in, and while we're not a medical facility, a lot of us here do research on it, and so we have folks come in, MS, Parkinson's, stroke. I mean, like, it runs the gamut, and they want to talk to us about which things might help them feel better.
Yeah.
So a lot of people aren't coming in and saying what's going to buzz me the most.
Yeah.
You know, and we've got that traffic
Yeah.
for sure. But a lot of our traffic is saying, you know, I've also got this going on. Is there something that could address that? And so we've gotten on top of really trying to pay attention to that, and even doing a little bit of studying it.
Yeah, you have like your share of patients, and then you have your share of recreational. Is this place both recreational and medical,
No,
or only
but
medical?
It's only recreational
Oh, okay.
because it is a micro business, and
Oh.
the nature of that license in Michigan is it's only recreational.
Oh, I
It's-
see.
It's a
I
very
see.
specific license, so
Wow.
med patients can come and shop here. If we don't have a better deal for them, we'll give them 10% off, which will cover the cannabis
Yeah,
tax.
that's great. Sure.
But we're growing medical grade here.
Exactly,
because
yeah.
Eric has been a grower for, well over 12 years at least, right? Yeah. And he's, and he's been a caregiver and with a very, very good reputation in town for a very high quality organic product.
Love it.
So, yeah.
Love
Kim,
it.
we're so excited that you and Eric gave us this tour and had a chance to really, really see what a micro business is and how it's all organic. And I love knowing more about the buds coming in and just the level of care that you're giving to the people of Michigan and the products that you guys are creating. So thank you so much for touring with us. I really want to get back up front and test out
wanna
some.
shop?
Yes,
Okay.
I want to shop. I want to
very
shop
tasty.
CBD. I want to shop THC. I want to try it all.
Go for it.
Let's do it.
All right.
If anyone didn't get a peek in the kitchen and you want to, I'll stay behind for a minute and
Thank you.
answer any more questions.